All right, going live now. Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Amit Badani once again on Soul to Soul Sessions with AB, myself, on a nice Wednesday, thundering, lightning, drizzling weekday. Thank you so much for joining in. I just wanted to tell you what is Soul to Soul Sessions with AB all about. It's basically I get in experts from various fields and we discuss well-being related to mental issues, emotional issues, physical issues, and spiritual issues. So we look at health in a very holistic point of view. This is my 11th session, so thank you all the viewers for egging me on to do this, and I've been learning as and when the sessions keep coming, as the sessions I keep on doing with various experts. We started off with we started off with the nutritionist talking about minerals and supplements. We moved on to physical well-being, intermittent fasting, diets. We moved on to mental resilience during the pandemic, mental and emotional well-being. Then we moved on to tarot science. We moved on to pulse diagnosis. We looked at pain management. We had a wellness coach who came in, and it was just fantastic. One coming in from talking about tarot science. How do we use tarot science? We spoke on numerology, and today we have a really special guest with us, and we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic in these trying times. That is, how do we manifest our own ideal reality? And the name of a speaker who's going to be joining us today, who we're going to having a nice discussion with, is going to be Shreyans Daga. So please hold on till I'm just going to add him. Please have any questions, put it down on the chat, and we'll try and take up as many questions as we can. Hi, Shreyans.
Hi Amit, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for joining and doing this with me on Soul to Soul Sessions with AB.
Thank you so much. It's really my pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, for all the viewers who are joining in, many people are joining in. I just wanted to give you a brief background on Shreyans Daga, a very successful entrepreneur who started his spiritual journey at the age of 19 years old. Uh, you started regular practices on meditation, mindfulness, and manifestation to find solutions for the own life challenges that you faced personally. Today, Shreyans, through his scientifically created and specially curated workshops, is transforming many souls through the learning and knowledges that you have gained. You also strongly believe, Shreyans, that with correct knowledge and habitual meditation practices, one can accomplish extraordinary success in relation to health, wealth, happiness, or basically general well-being of mind, body, and soul. Uh, also, at
Absolutely.
a young, also at a young age of 20, you one of the co-founder and vice president of a meditation marvel in Bangalore called the Pyramid Valley International, along with Brahmarshi Patraji. So that is excellent. And currently, right now, you are with your wife Pinky Daga also have set up an online holistic well-being module called Thrive Art and Soul that connects basically healers and seekers, and benefiting almost 2 million registered users, and it's growing year on year, and it's a global platform
Yeah, thank you.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite a generous introduction.
No, I mean it's a privilege to have you here, and I'm so glad that you could do this.
It's absolutely my pleasure, and thank you to all the viewers for joining also. Thank you.
So Shaz, really wanted to find out what led you on to this path of spiritual journey.
So, 1997, when my father had passed away, it was a sudden death. And then I was going through a phase of anxiety and depression. And 6 months later, I was detected of chest TB, tuberculosis. And that was a time when I really broke down, and I really sought help. I really wanted somebody to guide me or help me. And I did not know how to move on with my life any further because my younger brother was 11 years younger to me. My mother and I had a joint family. So even the businesses where we went to a partition within the family. So it was a very challenging time, and I was in a kind of depressed state. So I was not at all enthusiasm about anything. I was, so those 6 months I used to just lock down in my home and just grieving about the father's loss. And when I got TB, it was like a wake up call, and I realized that I cannot let my life slip by like this. And I really broke down. I sought help. And as luck would have it, my sister, who lives in South India, she called me that day evening that one meditation teacher, Brahmashi Patriji, is coming to Bombay, and he's flying to Hong Kong after 2 days. So can he stay with you for 2 days? I said, yeah, most welcome. That's totally fine. And I had no idea. I had never done any meditation before. And next day when he came, he saw me popping pills, for the TB. And I told him, sir, this is what happened, and this is my emotional state, and I got TB, so I'm doing the 9 months course now, starting from today. So he said, your TB is because of your grief. So it's like a TB is like a fire alarm, but the fire is your grief. So by taking medicine, you're only shutting the fire alarm. Whereas the root cause, which is your grief, that will continue. And then it will turn into some another disease and into some another disease. So if you really want to heal yourself, you should heal your grief. And if you can heal your grief, and you can emotionally come into the right alignment or the right balance, your TB will heal on its own. So at that moment, it sounded, very bizarre. And however, he said, let's do a meditation together. And first time I did my meditation with him alone, and he was playing a flute and guiding me, and I did around a 40 minutes meditation. And during the meditation, I was feeling a strong sensation of energy flowing into my chest. I had a chest TB. And after 40 minutes, when I got up, I was feeling so peaceful and so tranquil, and as if I took a bath after 6 months. So it was like a cosmic energy bath. And I felt so good. That feeling I had forgotten. In the last 6 months, I had even forgotten that peaceful feeling, because I was those 6 months of it are in a state of so much anxiety and fear and grief. I'd really forgotten that feeling, and it felt so good. And that made me believe. And he said, don't need to go to any doctor now, don't need to take any medicine. If you meditate for 40 days regularly, you will heal yourself completely. So I was so inspired that I stopped taking medicines, and I started doing regular meditation. And I got so hooked on to meditation that during those days I was doing meditation for 6 hours in a day. But wow. I was still not confident. So somebody told me do a Reiki course. So one weekend I did a Reiki course. Then another weekend I did a pranic healing course. Yeah. Then another weekend I did a Siva method of mind control. So I didn't want to leave anything to chance, because I'm not even taking medicine, and now I'm only doing meditation. So though I was feeling good, but I wanted to make sure that I heal myself. Yeah. And after a month, when I went for my chest X-ray, my TB was gone completely. And wow. So that was a big revelation and a very empowering moment for me. And since then,
may I ask how long was
30 days. Like 1 month. Yeah.
Fantastic. And you were going to get on a 9th month course for that.
Course. Yeah. So doctor was surprised. He said, how did this happen? This is the first case in my life that there's no even shadow of TB. He said either this X-ray report is wrong, or either your earlier one report was wrong. Something is wrong.
Wow, that is so powerful.
So that's how my journey started. Yeah.
Is it good to like kind of deduce the fact that a lot of these physical ailments and disease that we have is strongly connected, or it's like a expression of the emotional energy that we are harnessing and we are not aware of it?
Absolutely. So, now it is scientifically proven. The research shows that more than 90% of the disease, a common disease, in fact, most of the chronic diseases are all psychosomatic.
Yeah. I like the autoimmune disorders is also like it's like
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that is so powerful, man.
Yeah, and that's how my journey started, because after that, my TB got healed, but I got so hooked on to meditation that I would not I do not start my day without meditation. So that became a part of my life, and that's how my spiritual journey started.
And it's so fantastic. And I want to add in for the viewers is that how I came to know Shreyans is through a common friend, Sumin, uh, and I was the early ones to be detected with COVID in the month of April. I think me and my wife both. And Sumin said that and we both were talking about all this. I mean, we both are inclined towards all this, and we are doing various other practices. And where you mentioned about your transcendental meditation breathing that you do every Saturday. And both of us were like on a downer, like, because the virus is such that you feel really emotionally down in the evening and especially during the nights. And my wife
Right,
was in the hospital and I was home quarantine. And it just came the universe's way of saying that, you need to connect with Shreyan. So we had your first session of transcendental meditation in April, I think, and that 25 minutes of intense breathing followed by the meditation, which was about 40-45 minutes, was
right.
so energizing, so drastically uplifting that since then both me and my wife are hooked onto it, and we saw a complete change in our energy spectrum, and both of us
Right.
luckily bounced back without any side effects, without any without any health concerns. We bounced back from COVID, and since then, as you say rightly, I'm very much addicted to your Saturday transcendental meditation breathwork because it's really changed a lot at an emotional level and a lot of other things that have happened. I've done a lot of video podcasts. I was always inclined towards this journey, but I guess I was procrastinating and ruminating a lot. And I think the breath work that I did with you, I kind of changed my, start put everything into execution, and and I really want to give you credit because this soul to soul sessions AB is something which is transpired from this breath work, and
Oh, wow.
I'm, yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I'm doing, and there are a lot of other surprises that I'll share with you. Probably not on this platform, but others. So, thank you so much for changing my or making me truly find my passion and doing something which I always wanted to do.
No, no, sometimes it's your own calling. So I just became a medium to that, but it was your own calling sometimes.
Uh, so, Shreya's interesting topic. Manifest your reality. How do we go about it? I would really like it to be a very practical session. If you could share something with our viewers on how do we go about it, if there is any steps that we could follow or anything information that you would like to share.
Yeah, so a lot of you must have seen the movie Secret, where it talks about the law of attraction, and it became a very popular movie documentary, and it came with a book. They came out with a book also, The Secret. You
Yeah.
must have heard of it, right? And
Yes, of
then
course.
so everybody got to know more, got to be more aware about law of attraction and how it really works, and how whatever you think you attract in your life.
Absolutely.
But then, in my research, and I got more detail into it, more in-depth research, and I go into more into quantum science and quantum physics and neuroscience, and how brain waves and chakras, how all that work. And and what happens is, of course, the universe works on law of attraction, but
Yeah.
most of the time we want to think positive, but we are feeling negative.
I
We
can
want
relate
to
with
think, yeah, we want to
absolutely.
think whole, but we are feeling sick inside, or we want to have a healthy relationship, but we are feeling hurt or broken. So most of the
Yeah.
time, our thoughts are in one direction, but our feelings are not marrying our thoughts. They are not in congruence with our thoughts.
Yeah.
And that is where the law of attraction fails, or law of attraction doesn't work. Because the truth is, our thoughts are electric, but the feelings are magnetic. So the thoughts send the signal out, but it is the feelings which draw the event back. And so a lot of people confuse law of attraction with, oh, think positive. But then if it is not being matched, or it is not matched with a sponsoring emotion or a corresponding emotion, then it doesn't really work. So it's
Yeah.
like the analogy I'll give you, like a car. You have an amazing thought. So you have a beautiful car, but if you don't have the driver to run it, so the emotions are like a driver. That's why it's called emotion, energy in motion. So if you don't have the right driver, so that is the emotion. So even thoughts are carried on the frequency of emotions, on the energy and information of emotions. So that's why the feelings play a very important part in manifesting whatever you want in a life.
But
And yeah.
but how do we do that, Chandan? What are the practical tips you can give? Suppose we have a current situation where you want to think about, say, a successful venture or something positive for yourself, but you're in a situation where you're looking at your bank statement and you can get that thought like an electric current. I want to be a successful entrepreneur or whatever. I want to have a successful relationship. I want to have perfect health or whatever the thought might be.
Yeah.
But then you have a contradictory emotion of feeling which is there. So they are not in sync. How can we try and mitigate that, or how can we kind of get them aligned, the thoughts and
So
the emotions?
you mean to say you have a great vision, but your current condition or the current physical reality is not matching that vision, because that acts as a
Yeah,
it is blocking your belief system, or it is with the moment you focus on that, you feel it's not possible, right?
exactly, exactly.
So what happens is whatever we do in our life, is we do it for an emotional payoff, right? Even if you have a great vision, say if you want to have a great business, or if you want to have a great relationship, or a great health, or you want to travel the world, or whatever you want to do, it's for an emotional payoff. That if I
Yeah,
do this, then I'll be happy,
yeah,
or if I do this, I'll feel the sense of freedom, or
yeah,
if I have so much of money in my bank account, if my business is doing good, I'll have the freedom of choice. I'll do whatever I want, whenever I want, my own choice or my free will. So
yeah,
whatever we do it for emotional payoff, but the beauty is the same emotional payoff. Most of the time, we wait for the emotional payoff to wait for the situation to change your condition. You wait for the condition to change your emotion, right? Because the end product of any experience is an emotion. Now we
absolutely.
want that experience to happen so that we feel that emotion. Now, what happens is the beauty is how meditation really helps you is we have the choice to change the emotion before the condition has changed or before the event has changed. And if we can reverse the cycle, if we can or prepone that cycle, where we can change the emotion before the condition has changed, then magically or very effortlessly we'll draw that condition into our life. So I'll give you an example. Like with meditation, we have a power to get that happiness feeling, or the feeling of freedom, or that content, or the satisfaction, or the joy, or the feeling of abundance through meditation. So
Yeah,
once we connect to our inner source, which is our inner source or inner being, which is full of that pure positive energy, or which has or which is complete in its own self. And once you connect to the source, then we are happy for no reason. We are joyful for no reason.
yeah, yeah,
But the beauty is when we are in that state, when we are joyful for no reason, then we are going to attract, and then we'll be going to attract the situations or events in our life which will give you more of joyfulness, more of that freedom state. You will find more of that evidence into your life coming into you. You'll attract more of those situations. You'll magnetize. So whatever you feel is what you magnetize into your life. So your feelings are equal to prayer. What you're feeling is what you're praying for. So you may not be thinking, if you're thinking very, very, whatever you may be thinking, as long it is not matched by your feeling, you will not draw that event into your life. In fact, most of the time what happens is when we are drawn with the challenging situations or challenging conditions in our life, most of the time we are focusing on what's missing in our life, or we are focusing on the absence of it rather than the presence of it, right? Because we are so narrow focused, and we are such when we are in a challenging situation, we are so much in that flight and fight mode that we are stressing about it, and we are thinking of what's missing in our life. And the truth is, our attention, wherever our attention goes, our energy flows, and whatever you focus on, that expands. Now, by focusing on what's missing in your life, you're expanding that possibility, and you will draw more of that event in your life. So that is how law of attraction works.
But so on this, basically, what you're trying to say is basically rather than wait for the conditions outside to change, you should already inculcate the feeling or the emotion of that result in the present moment, along with your thought process, and then you slowly start attracting those events corresponding to that emotional state that you're in.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have to learn how to teach our body emotionally how that future is going to feel like before it's manifested. So we have to go. So rather than being, we have to be aligned by the vision of a future. Most of the
Yeah,
time, we are addicted to the memories of our past or
yeah,
our past self. In fact, the
yeah,
research shows that we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, of
yeah.
which 90% of those thoughts are coming from our past. So if you
Correct.
are only thinking from our past thoughts, our past patterns, our past belief systems, living our past addictions, so
Yeah,
and we think and then we want a new future. So actually
yeah,
so it said that 95% of whom we are by the age of 35 is a set of same memorized thoughts, behavior and actions and belief systems. And that's why then we are not changing. So it's just that we are not happy with one relationship, then we break off and then we find somebody else. But again, things are not changing because the same pattern we repeat with the same relationship. We are not happy with one job, we change a job, but again again we repeat the same pattern. So basically, people, places, situation, things, time, events, they may be changing, but the truth
yeah,
is you have not changed. And then even though you find a new person, but again you attract the same reality with that person also, or with the same different situation also. And that's why our life is not changing. And that's why to really make a change, first we have to be conscious of these unconscious patterns. And the very act of being conscious of these unconscious patterns will lower this intensity, will lower the volume of those unconscious patterns. So that's
yeah,
why Buddha said, seeing is freeing. The moment you see it, you'll be actually free from it. Because when you are able to consciously observe it, then
yeah,
then you're seeing it as observer. Then you're separate from that reality. Otherwise, we are so inseparate from that past
yeah,
emotions
yeah,
that we are not able to change. And that's why any event in a happens, any situations happen in a life, we are only looking it from the lens of our past. And something happens when we just react. We see a traffic on the road and we are angry, we are upset, and it's just a body reaction. We don't even think consciously, but
yeah,
it's just our body feels.
yeah,
Because the truth is, thoughts are the language of the brain, but feelings are the language of the body. And all these old past emotions, feelings are stored in the body. And now we are addicted to those emotions. We are addicted to those feelings, right?
yeah,
And so now to maintain that addiction, we are looking for evidence in our life to feed those emotions. So we are a grievance looking for a cause outside. Or or we are a joy looking for a cause outside. The cause is not outside. We are the cause looking for the evidence outside.
outside. But Shahid, I mean, yeah, this is true what you said about thought. Now there comes a time, and maybe I'm talking on behalf of majority of the viewers who are there or who would see it. You in meditative state is probably, oh, you can get that clarity. You are an observer. You're watching this with detachment, and you get that epiphany, like, oh, I am the observer, and this. And then comes the rigmarole of the next day, and then you have situations after situation thrown at you, and you don't even realize it that you're pulled into the drama of the mind again, and
Right.
and and so difficult to free that you cannot, even if you want to say, okay, let me observe, like, it can't. You just get sucked into it. So uh, uh, we are humans at the end of the day, but what is your take on that? I mean, how do we keep on practicing it? I think it's a constant endeavor to to be conscious of your thought processes.
Yeah. So I usually follow three M's and I advocate these three M's. One is meditation. So meditation is for healing your past attitudes, behaviors, belief systems, emotions, past memories. Then second is once you are done with your meditation, to maintain that modified state, to maintain this elevated emotions or the elevated state, then comes in mindfulness. So mindfulness is is, being aware in the present moment. And even the meditation, we call it dhyan. Dhyan, the very act of dhyan means awareness, being
Yeah.
conscious. So,
Yeah.
so maintain that conscious state during the course of the day. So any event happens, sometimes some challenging situations happens, and you go back to your old pattern or your old emotional state. But the moment you are conscious, then you will reduce the refractory period, rather than, anything starts with a mood. Oh, something happened. Oh, my girlfriend, I had a break off with my girlfriend, so I'm in a bad mood. Now after 1 week or 10 days, again you're still in that mood continues. No, so the mood continues. Then over a period of time, after 6 months, you're still in that mood. Then it becomes a temperament. After a year, it becomes a state of being. It becomes your personality,
Personality.
and
Correct.
then your personality creates a personal reality. And then because to maintain that emotion, now you're so addicted to that feeling or that emotion. Now you find more evidence in your life to reciprocate that emotion. So any small thing will trigger you, and you'll go back to the same pattern. If nothing is triggering outside, then you will think of some past event in your life, and then start conversing with that to your friend. Oh, you know what happened to me? That woman left me 15 years back, and after that I'm like this and this. So you'll again reform that, and in fact you'll exaggerate the stories. You lie about the
Yeah.
stories just to
Yeah.
again get that
Re-
that chemical addiction. So what we need to do is, when we are faced with any challenging situations, we need to. So everybody, we are all human beings, and it's natural to have sometimes get into the survival mode, or go into that limited emotions, or fear-based emotions. But
Yeah.
But if we are conscious about it, then what we can maintain, then we can lower, we can reduce the refractive period of that emotion. You can take time out after maybe going to meditation, or maybe rather than extend it for 1 month or 2 months, 3 months, or years, you may be able to overcome after 2 days. You can use that, and that's where meditation is a great tool to, uh, because when you're meditating, when you go into the state of no mind, you drop your personal, your identity, and it is that identity which is causing you that suffering, which is causing you that pain. Your personality self, your ego, because you're so attached to the outcome, you're
Attached.
so attached to the current situation or the surrounding. But when you meditate, you break off from that current environment. You go into that, you become nobody, nothing,
Yeah.
nowhere, and in no time. And when you
Yeah.
go into that state, then you drop all the resistance, because you drop your identity,
Identity.
and and it is the identity which carries the resistance. And when you drop the resistance, then you're in a state of acceptance and alliance. And that's why you're able to connect to the source energy, your inner being, and that's why you feel happy and joyful for no reason, or relaxed or peaceful and calm. But that is your
Yeah.
true state, that is your original state. And that's why meditation is a great tool to reduce that refractive period of that current challenging situation. And then the first is awareness that, oh, this is not I want to be. So
Yeah.
it's our choice, whether we want to be our host to our future, or hostage to our past. So,
Also.
so, so, it, so it's always, I will always advise you to be aligned with your vision of future. What is your vision of future? What that you want, and
Yeah.
how the future is going to feel like. If the future is going to happen, how it is going to feel like. And that's where visualization, the third aim is manifestation. The first aim is meditation, second is mindfulness, and the third is manifestation. And that is where visualization, creative visualization comes in, where you can manifest. So first aim is for the past, second aim mindfulness is for the present, and third aim manifestation is for the future. And that's where, for manifestation, creative visualization comes in, where you can see as if the event has already happened. You go into a subconscious state and see it, feel it in the present moment, as if it has already happened. And the mind does not know the difference whether you are imagining the experience or whether it's already happened. It's like how you see, for go in a movie theater, if there is some sad situation or it's a horror movie, you feel terrified, or so your mind does not know and the body feels. But the same way, so you can use your mind for some positive thing. You can trick your mind. That is a tool you can help. And that's where visualization is a powerful tool where you can trick your mind and make it believe as it's already happened. And once you believe it has already happened, you change the neurochemistry in your brain, you release the chemicals which is corresponding to those emotions which is in align with your future vision. And
Yeah.
that's how, and when your feeling changes, you draw those events in your life. So when
Basically,
things change inside you, yeah, sorry.
no. Please go ahead.
So when things change inside you, things change around you. So life is not happening to us, life is happening from us.
From us.
So
And I
yeah,
think the key word that you mentioned was acceptance. A lot of people put in a lot of resistance out there.
yeah,
And I would like to, my takeaway would be like basically we become rigid record players with our grooves. So of our old patterns. So the idea is to kind of rub it off and make the new grooves on the record for your future if you want to. Very,
absolutely,
very well said.
absolutely.
So for thoughts, basically, you say meditation is a great tool for that. Is there any exercise that we could do in terms of maintaining that state, in terms of emotional well-being? What are the things that we could do? Suppose we visualize and we have the thought process, and now we want the emotions to be on the same. We just how do we? It's maybe I don't know. I'm not getting it across. How do we get into that emotional state? Is there any kind of technique that we could use, or
So
we could
yeah,
share
so
with the
what I teach or what I share or guide is the 5 steps of manifestation, 5 steps of creation. So first is brain coherence. So again, it's a meditative process. So first is brain coherence,
yeah.
where you go into you go into that subconscious mind. Where you go into the subconscious mind is like a software. It's like so you enter the software. So you go into the from the beta brainwaves, you go into the alpha, theta, delta, into a deep state of mind. And then second step is then we focus on our heart. So when we breathe from our heart, here you go into the heart coherent state, where you open up your heart, where you energize your heart, you you become aligned with your deeper self. You get tuned into your inner being, and once you open up your heart, you center yourself, and then it is easy for you to sponsor those emotions of pure love, joy, happiness. Then it's much easy because now you're cut off. There's no more resistance now. You're cut off
Yeah.
from the environment. You're no more stressing about your current situation,
Yeah.
and that's why it's very easy. And then you connect to your heart. Then it is very easy to connect to that true energy of happiness or joy or abundance or satisfaction or gratitude or contentment or peace. And once you do that, so that is the second step. And then once you have that stage, then you visualize what you want. Then the third step is creative visualization. Then you imagine what you want in the present moment as if it has already happened. And then how would you feel if it has already happened? So emote those feelings as if it has already happened. How would you feel? So you see it, you make it so real in your mind, so vivid. You experience as if you experience with all your senses. And of course, the music, the guidance helps you and see it as if it's already happening now. And if you can feel it, if you can see it in your mind and feel it in your heart, then you will hold it in your hand. So
Wow.
that's how that's how the law of attraction works, right? So if
Fantastic.
you're so as I told you, your feelings are equal to prayer. If you're what you're feeling it, what you're praying for. So thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. So when your body feels, then you will draw that event. Then thoughts send the signal out, and so you know how the quantum science works and how the manifestation works is our thoughts are electric and our feelings are magnetic. So how you think and feel, you broadcast an electromagnetic signature into the quantum field. And everything what you want in your life exists electromagnetically. Whether you want a great house or a great car or a great relationship or financial abundance, everything manifests, everything exists electromagnetically. It is already there electromagnetically. It's everything is energy.
Energy.
And when you match your energy, when you match your electromagnetic signature to that electromagnetic field, then there's a perfect match. And then you magnetize that event, then you magnetize that thing into your life. And then you gravitate those things, then everything, all the cooperative components of the world will come together to
Yeah.
manifest it for you, you know.
And there is no lack in the universe. There is a lot of abundance and and everything for everyone. There is no limit.
Absolutely not. And even if it is not there in the universe, it will be created for you.
Very well said. Very well said. So tell me, Shreyans, you have this meditation thing. Suppose someone wants to get in touch, or do you have a group or a website or somewhere where they could get in touch with you and
So I have
learn?
my website. Yeah, I have my website, shreyansdaga.org,
Okay.
shreyansdaga.org. So
Okay.
you can go on my website. It is all the programs, all these meditations which I am talking about, all these guided meditations. I have already hosted more than 10 guided meditations, including breath work, for abundance, for releasing fear and anxiety, for balancing your chakras, harmonizing your chakras, or for dissolving your ego, and various topics, you know, and
Hmm.
all and healing your body. So all these are there on my website, and one can even download it. So you can
Okay.
download all these meditations and practice it at your own convenient time. Or
Okay.
otherwise, I do every Monday morning and Thursday. I do a morning meditation Monday and
Hmm.
Thursday at 6:45 to 7:45.
Hmm.
So one can, it's on Zoom and it's free sessions, and one can log in there. So again, on the website, it has the login ID. Even these sessions are there on Thrive Art and Soul YouTube Live. So one can even go on the Thrive Art and Soul YouTube channel. And even it is there, recorded sessions are there. So even they cannot join at the same time, they can always do at their convenient time. Yeah. So these are the ways one can connect with me.
So we have a question from one of the viewers. He's saying, does materialistic things become available if we follow this process?
Of course, I mean, for me, I believe that spirituality and materialistically and anything materialistic and spirituality is not different. Everything is spirit. Everything is energy. Even
Okay.
anything materialistically is, even whatever you see as materialistic things was first a thought and then it manifested, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so, and we came as a creators. We came here as human beings, not as a reactors, but as a creators, right?
Yeah.
We all have aspirations, dreams, desires,
Yeah.
and true spirituality is if we are able to manifest what we want. And it could be anything. So
Yeah.
it could be anything. So that is the true spirituality. That is your true power. So when you might say meditation, meditation is not about just being, you know, leaving the world or, you know, it is about embracing life to the fullest.
Yeah.
Whatever you can think about, it could be any aspiration. It could be maybe a great house or a great car, or maybe it could be starting a spiritual center, or living your dream life, or having a great job. It could be anything. You can manifest anything. You know? So meditation is only a technology. You know, meditation is a great technology of manifestation.
So another, the same viewers has commented that does it help you to technique help us to realize to be centered so that probably we've reached such a stage that we are self-content and maybe don't want to achieve something like maybe we are running around too much and stressing about chasing materialistic things.
So what happens is meditation gives you a lot of clarity. It gives you a lot of insights. You know, you get a lot of intuition, a lot of guidance, a lot of
Yeah,
so everything in our life is about choice, right? At any moment
yeah,
we make our what are the choices we make? Sometimes
yeah,
we do so much of hard work, but
yeah.
sometimes we realize that we made some wrong choices and we have suffered some losses or lost a relationship or anything, you know, sometimes because of wrong choices. But
Correct.
when you're in a state of meditation, when you're in a state of coherent state, you know, you are in a state of balance, you're in a state of high emotional state, and we think equal to our emotional state, and even the
Mm.
choices we make are equal to our emotional state. If you're in the anger state, obviously you tend to make a wrong choice, or
Yeah,
you know. So, but if you're in a state of calm and balance and harmony and peace, or even
yeah,
in content,
yeah,
you make a right choice, right? And once you make a right choice, then your beliefs drive your behaviors, you know. then you have a
Correct.
right motivation. Motivation is your motive for action. And then you'll make a right choice, you make the right decision, the right action, and right decisions will be inspired. You'll
Yeah.
be guided to take right action. You'll be guided to meet the right person at the right time, because the fact is, and you'll feel oh, I'm so lucky, everything is happening for me, and I'm at the right time at the right place. But what happens is, you know what is luck? Luck is nothing but when the preparation meets opportunity. And the preparation is a feeling. When you're in the right state of feeling, when you're in the right emotional state, then you will find more evidence in your life which is corresponding to that emotion, and then you'll act on that, and yeah, and then things happen for you, right? So so
Absolutely.
so then things become effortless. Rather than working hard, meditation is a
Yeah.
tool to work smart, smart work rather than hard work and
Yeah.
scrambling and trying hard, and then at the age of 60 you feel burnout, and then
Yeah.
you have money but now you lost your health. Here,
Yeah.
you're working smart. You're working, and through meditation you can manifest whatever you want. Because the
Correct.
science is, because most of the time we want to manifest whatever we want in our life, but we are coming from the feeling of lack.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Absolutely.
more we try to manifest from the feeling of lack, the more we'll attract more lack in our life,
Yeah.
right? But
And
with meditation,
that got so much to do with your past conditioning, which plays an important role, which meditation takes
uh,
care of it.
absolutely. But now with meditation, you're in a state of joy, you're in a state
Yeah.
of content. So that
Yeah.
the pillars of manifestation is content,
Yeah.
satisfaction. When you're already content with what you have, gratitude,
Yeah. Yeah.
thankfulness. When gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership.
Yeah.
When you are thankful for what you already have, the universe will give you more of what you
Yeah.
can be thankful for, because because whatever the vibrational contribution you are giving to the quantum field, or you're giving to the universe only plays the match game. So it will
Yeah.
match it to your emotion, and you will draw those
Absolutely.
events into your life.
Absolutely. So we
Yeah,
have
so
a
that
question.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we just have a question. I'm playing the devil's advocate. If I'm calm doing meditation, then I'm content, then I don't aspire. If no external pressure, then we will be content. So I think he's interpreting meditation means being really passive and not doing much. So maybe you can throw light on it.
So it's not so content. That's the great thing. To be content is amazing, but content does not mean that you do not aspire for things. Like I am very content with whatever I am doing.
Yeah.
Say I'm doing a live talk with you. It's amazing. It's a very contentment. It's a feeling. It's a great satisfaction. Whatever I'm
Yeah.
doing, but that
Yeah.
does not mean that I do not. I want to reach millions now. I still have
Correct.
an aspiration to reach millions. But
Yeah.
now, but now efforts are not required. Efforts are inspired.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm doing from a different state, and
Yeah.
now I'm doing a talk with you, not because, but I have a vision to reach out to many people. But now
Yeah.
somehow you connected with me, and then we connected through Sumin, and then we have a talk
Absolutely.
now. So
Absolutely.
this is how the universe works for you,
Yeah.
and and effortlessly I'm doing what I wanted to do, which is my dream, or which is my vision also. So wherever there's a vibrational match, the right people, the right situation, right things will all
All
conspire together, all collaborate together. It's
correct.
all about, then rather than competition, you're in a cooperation with things.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Everyone reaches his pinnacle or his thing and at its own time based on his frequency and what he's vibrating at.
yeah, yeah. And also with meditation, it is, what is business? I mean, any work or any management study is all about productivity or
Correct.
efficiency, right? So with
Correct.
meditation, it increases your productivity. It increases your
Absolutely.
efficiency. Whatever you are doing, you will do better.
Better. Absolutely.
Whatever you are doing, you'll be more focused. You'll have much more clarity. You'll be doing much more out of inspiration and joy, and with from a right emotional state. And the true
Yeah.
richness,
Yeah.
Amit, is actually emotional richness, right?
Yeah.
Because whatever you're doing is for an emotional payoff. The
Correct.
end product of any experience is an emotion. So the true richness is an emotional richness. If whatever you wanted to achieve, if you already achieved, But if it does not give you satisfaction, if you're still unfulfilled or it does not give you content, then actually
Okay.
you have failed, right? You have
Yeah.
failed. So
Yeah.
success without the fulfillment is the ultimate failure.
Very well said. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. I mean, oh, there's a question. You're setting a target, so that means you will work towards to that and feel content till you achieve it. So, your focus, as you mentioned it, will help you run towards it. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what I said. The moment you get up from the meditation, the moment I get up from my meditation, I get up with a feeling of great content, satisfaction, joy, happiness. But
Yeah.
there are 10 things in my mind which I want to do now because I'm so inspired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then because I have so much of insights coming in, so much of clarity coming in, and then I want to. Then action is only a follow up. I have already created that in my mind, and my body or my action is only a follow up of what I've
Correct.
already rehearsed in my mind.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. One question on visualization. I mean, I've practiced it all my life. When do we say, okay, we're visualizing for a goal, and when do we say, okay, it's enough, let's not get attached to it, and let's release it, and the universe will take care of it? Being human, you always again tend to get attached to what you want to achieve or you want to visualize. Then it becomes an attachment to that visualization. When do you know? Oh, and I'm talking from even personal experience. And when do you realize, like, let it go? Now it's the universe is going to take care of it. Where that faith needs to come, that trust.
So that's why when I talk about goal setting, I say it's not goal setting; it's emotional goal setting, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
don't be obsessed by the physical manifestation.
Hmm. Hmm.
Be
Got it.
my obsession. The obsession should be with the emotional manifestation. If you're
That is.
emotionally manifested, your
Yeah.
vibration. If you're emotionally manifested, your job is done.
Yeah.
Your 90% job is done, and then
Hmm.
you'll find the evidence. So if you and you can stay in that feeling for maybe a month or 2 months, then you will find the evidence of it coming into your life.
I think
So
that's a key point that you said, to be emotionally invested, because if you let the mind come in too much, then it starts coming in and playing around and making stories or something like that. And I think the thought to be there, but to be emotionally invested is, I think, the key takeaway.
exactly. So most of the time we are so as you rightly said, if you set up a goal, now you're obsessed with that goal, and
Yeah.
you're seeing, "Arey, abhi hua nahi," and and that is coming from the state of lack.
Yeah.
Again, the very fact
Yeah.
of then you're again focusing on the absence of it. But
Absolutely.
when but that's why I say emotional goal setting, because you feel so whole, you feel so because you're already emotionally manifested it. The end
Yeah.
product is an emotion, and now you feel so complete that you no longer even care whether it happens or not because you're already emotionally feeling it.
Emotionally feeling it.
But the
You get
beauty
into
is
a
when you
state.
feel so whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
beauty is when you feel so whole, the universe will match it anyways.
Anyways, you become more in a state of allowing than.
Exactly. Then you're in a state of allowing and acceptance and allowance, because your
Yeah.
vibration always precedes manifestation.
Perfect.
Nothing manifested before anything is manifested. It was in a vibrational state. So your
Yeah.
vibration always precedes manifestation. So focus on the vibration. We,
Vibration.
we try to we try to go for a shortcut, right?
Yeah.
Straight away focus on the
Outcome.
object.
Yeah.
But here I'm not even saying shortcut, but the end product of that object is an emotion, right? So why not
Absolutely.
focus on the emotion so that the object will come? And then
Yeah.
most of the time we focus on one object. Sometimes when I sometimes you are going through a financial situation, and
Yeah.
say you want to buy a house.
Yeah.
Now you're
Yeah.
obsessed. Oh, I need 10 crores to buy a house. Now,
Yeah.
so you're focusing on 10 crores, 10 crores. But
Yeah.
sometimes the universe knows, because you are thinking from your limited perception
Yeah.
how to get the house. So focus on what you want, and not on how you want it.
Yeah.
Because the universe has a multiple way of manifesting it. Maybe your father-in-law will gift you that house. And you have a house.
But it's more important to uh, visualize the emotional payoff. Don't
Yeah,
worry about the
exactly.
nitty-gritty and the details about it.
Yeah,
I think
leave it to the
that's
surrender
where
it, sir.
that's where the logical mind comes in and wants to analyze it and dissect it and break it down and how, why, when, how to go about it. I think, I
Yeah.
think, I think, I mean, it's very refreshing. Or rather, for me, the first time that I've heard that you stay invested in the emotional payoff of the end result. That's important.
Yeah, and surrender it. When you do it, just surrender it. Leave it to the
Yeah.
higher mind, and trust it that if it is in my highest good,
Yeah.
it will
Yeah.
come to me. And if it is not, anyways, you are emotionally in a right state, so something else will come. It whatever. See, there is no exception to the law of attraction. I mean,
Yeah.
so if you can maintain that right emotional state, you will
Yeah.
come. It's a law. It will
Exactly.
you will find the evidence of it in your life anyways. But again, I'll tell you one more thing that when you are making a change in your life, when you are in an emotionally higher state, initially sometimes it will look like a lot of chaos in your life, right? So like you have a group of friends now who are at a different vibrational state. Now you are vibrating at a highest emotional state or a higher frequency. Now all of some reason, there could be some reason, now your other friend stop talking to you, and you feel, oh my god, he's been my friend from childhood, and now he blame me for no reason. But the point is, whatever is, or all of a sudden you lose a job because
Yeah.
you whatever is the job now which is matching with a high vibration state
Yeah.
will come to you. So
Yeah.
but now all of a sudden you lost a job and you feel, oh my god, I am in a state of chaos now. What is
Yeah.
this meditation doing to me? I am to
Yeah.
finding more chaos in my life. And
Yeah.
sometimes then you go back to your old pattern, and you say,
Correct.
no, this meditation is not for me.
Correct.
But again, that's why I'm saying that true manifestation is emotional manifestation. But if you can maintain that high vibration frequency and stay linger in that state,
Yeah.
or emotionally, if you can continue that state with your
Yeah.
continuous practice, your awareness or meditation, then maybe after a month or 2 months, then you will start magically, you'll start transforming things into your life, and things will surprise you. It will, what is magic? Magic is always surprise and wonderment.
Yeah.
So it may not, logically, you may not even thought about it, but magically you say, oh, you just met at the right person, right time, and some old friend came to you and you met, and some business started or something. Just spontaneously
I
things
can
will come to you.
very much relate to this. Very much relate to it.
Right. And then you'll call it, meaning. That's how synchronicities are. Meaningful
Correct.
coincidences.
Correct.
So what
Correct.
are coincidences? Are nothing but co-creating incidences.
Very
So
well said.
So that's how you'll draw all those events into your life. So that's why I said that true manifestation is emotional manifestation.
Yeah. And
And
Neetu says mystical experiences. Correct. Correct.
yeah,
No, this is fantastic. I mean, unfortunately, we're almost at the end of it. I can really go on and on because I'm really having such a fantastic time talking to you. Um, but thank you so much, Shreyans, for taking out the time. I mean, there's so much more to discuss on this, and I'm sure we will see much more of you. And I wish that you reach out to millions and millions of your viewers and aspire and achieve because you're doing some fantastic work. And I'm so glad that I could be part of this journey. And I hope one way or the other we cross each other's paths and we can do something together transformative to other people. And if we could help each other. But I am really in gratitude for you to being on the show and thank you so much.
no, thank
And
you,
I will,
thank you, Amit. I reciprocate the same, and thank you to all the viewers for the time and their patience. Thank you so much. Thanks for this opportunity. Yeah,
and I will put this on the same video and I'll put in the coordinates how people can reach you on that as well so they could do that.
sure. Great, great. Thank you, Amit. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Same to you. Thank you. Thanks to you all. Thank
Thank So that was Shreyan's Daga with me on Soul to Soul Session with AB, a fantastic session, episode number 11. And thank you, viewers, for joining in and posting your questions. It was really insightful for me, and I hope it was insightful for you guys as well. I will be posting this video on Instagram as well. I'll be having a downloadable YouTube link, which can be shared with your family members or close members who you think need this kind of information during these trying times that we all are facing. Thank you so much. Thank you, and till we meet again, have an awesome week. Stay safe, be happy, be positive, be strong. Thank you.